All right, so this has been a while now because you haven't been on the podcast in a while, so I've been saving this one for you because I thought it would be a fun way to open the show. So I don't really go on my Facebook all that often, but I was on it a couple months ago, and I every once in a while I look through the friend requests just to see if it's anything. I get nothing but like amputee friend requests. I swear to God, it's like the Jeep thing where you wave to the other person in the Jeep.
Yeah.
It's like all these fucking amputees from all over the world want to be friends with me on Facebook, and it's like
A lot of
I don't
Vietnam
get
vets.
it. It's like the last thing I want to do is be friends with some fucking Thai lady boy that's missing a fucking leg. Like, I don't care. Get a life. You know what I mean? So I'm going through it, and I see a request from a chick that I dated in San Francisco who was a smoke show at the time. So I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Let's check this one out. So I go onto her page, and first off, she now identifies as they, them, and she has armpit hair. They, them has armpit hair. Excuse me. I don't want to misgender this person.
That man. I think that's a big step to unity and inclusion for you. That you even opened her page. Opened their page.
It was hilarious. And like, she was a smoke show back in the day, and like, oh man, I just can't win with women. You know, like I ended up like I was dating her right before my ex-wife, and I kind of like had a chance to get back with her again, like right when I started dating my ex-wife, and I decided not to, and you know, dodged a bullet on that one too, I guess. Like I can't fucking win. You know what I mean?
Well, you never know. Maybe you're her getting your libertarian anarchist cock inside of her would have, just
they them
jogged something loose, or I don't know.
I don't know either. You know, while we're on Facebook, I was on it again a couple months. This has been like a month now, and I haven't even checked it because I didn't want to deal with the aftermath of it. But I was just every once in a while I kind of go on to friends from San Francisco's pages and see how they're reacting to Trump. And like, this was right after Charlie Kirk died. So I wanted to see like all the awful things that they were saying about Charlie Kirk right after he died. And one of them posted a picture of Eisenhower, like with all of his, like, I don't know, his military fucking people that he's commanding in World War II, essentially. And the caption said like, General Eisenhower with his group of anti-fascists. And I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I go on there and I was like, hey, Eisenhower fucking funded Nazi war criminals from Operation Paperclip all throughout his presidency. And then I listed like 10 war criminals that he'd given money to. And I don't think there was a response to that, because how can you, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Checkmate.
It's just something. Checkmate.
Listen up, I'm about to get dope.
What's going on? It's time for another episode of Too Hard for the Radio, transmitting from the future-free state of Greater Idaho, where I've got a big zit on the tip of my nose, so I'm looking like Rudolph. I am the one-armed madman. And once again, he's alive. It's the return from the Badlands of Southern Montana. It's Nolan 5150. What's up, dude? How we doing?
Oh,
Triumphant return.
man. Yeah. You can, you can knock me down, but can't keep me down. I guess I don't fucking know.
Well, maybe if you got a ball gag or something, and, you know, you can. Probably
Yeah,
keep me down for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, as long as they them has a vagina, yeah. Let's give it a go.
Yeah, it's all good, you know.
I'm looking for a spicy rebound.
Yeah, a nice little non-boy hole.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. We were talking about with the amputees. What'd you say? Oh yeah, like something like a lady boy a lady boy from Thailand with no arm.
Mhm.
It's like the real tragedy would be lady boy from Thailand that stepped on a landmine and got their sheetcock blown off, and now what do they do?
You just get a hole and you make some fucking money off the tourists. That's what you do. You have that fucker turn inside out. You go from a little nub of a dick to a whatever you want to call it, a bussy, and you make some money off some tourists. You know, you just swallow your
Festering
pride and
flesh
suck
wound.
it right in.
Oh,
Oh, gross. Fucking disgusting. Oh man. So what's going on? How we doing? How's life?
life, man. Life has been rough. Yep. Just kind of brutal, but you know, I feel like I am solidly on my way through the horribly rough seas, and you know, we'll see how she goes.
Well, you know, in the immortal words of Chumbawamba, you get knocked down, you get it back up again. You're never gonna keep. I think that was Chumbawamba. I don't even remember. I haven't heard that song in years.
That
It's close enough, right? It's close enough.
yeah, that works. That
We get that
works.
shit here. I see you got your HD shirt on. You got a new boss finally. They got rid of the fucking hog
yeah.
Nazi. You know?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw a I think it was some kind of like, I don't know, like, you know, company new like message or whatever about
Or like a
getting-
memo, like a company-wide memo.
No, it was like a commercial almost.
Oh, I got you.
And it actually sounded like, you know, good. I can't remember, but it was all about like getting away from all the like woke bullshit without directly saying that, and getting back to like their heritage, or the, you know what I mean? It was a positive, or what I felt like was a good message.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the guy that's running the company now, he's successful. He you know, it's one of these things, like I'm still worried about it because like, you know, the last guy was the CEO of Puma or something like that before he came on as CEO of the company. And I was reading an article, this was months ago now, so I don't even know where the article is, but it doesn't matter. Like they were kind of talking about like the failures of the brand and like why this guy failed. And like one of the things they brought up was that they got rid of the like cheap bikes and went to more high end bikes, and
That-
you know, they're just trying to basically ream their customers instead of giving them a good fucking deal. But they didn't mention the live wire. Like they talked about the live wire, but they didn't mention it as a failure. They were like, oh, he took it in this new direction and they're trying to bring, but they didn't talk about it as a failure at all. And I don't know, like the new guy was the CEO of Top Golf, which is a successful company. We have a Top Golf like in Meridian now,
yeah.
right near the Harley Davidson dealership, actually. And I don't know. We'll see. Like, I still think it's kind of troubling that they don't hire somebody from the industry or like from within the company that has like proven themselves. Like, I don't understand this like hiring new blood type of thing. Oh, we need to get new blood to run the company. It's like, why? Like you have people that have worked for the company for years and decades, I would imagine, that would like have a good vision for what this brand is supposed to be. And I don't know why you won't hire from within. Like I remember like working at the last bar that I worked at. One of the things that I pushed for a lot was like, stop hiring new bartenders. Like we were always short on bartenders. We were always, you know, covering shifts because somebody got fired for drinking too much or being on drugs or not showing up for work. And they would just go and hire new bartenders from outside, you know, that have experience. And like some of them turned out to be good, but most of them turned out to suck. And at one point, like I was just like, man, like we have some really good waitresses here. Like give me a waitress for a week and I'll turn her into a good bartender. They already know our system. They know the computers. They know what all the drinks are. Like I just have to teach them how to do the movements and they're going to be able to fit in right into the position. It was always like, well, we're short on waitresses and we can't, you know, like take them out of their positions to put them in somewhere else because then we'll be short there. And it's like, guys, you're just it's this churning over of people. Like take your hostess, make them a waitress, remove a waitress, and give them to me for a week, and like let's get into business. And they finally did that with one of our best waitresses, and she turned out to be a great bartender. You know,
and she was probably happier being a bartender, making more money. I would imagine.
It's not even just about more money because like she was pretty girl, so she was capable of making money as a waitress also. So it wasn't like it was a huge raise in pay. I'm sure she made more money as a bartender, but it's also a status raise. And it's not only status, but it's experience. So you can, take that anywhere and go work at any bar and just like, fit right into the position kind of like I did. And if you're good at your job, like I could tell immediately. Guys would bring their resumes to the bar because I would work in the front, bar. So I'm like the first person they see when they walk in, and they'd come in and hand me the resume. I'd talk to them for 2 or 3 minutes, and I'd either turn in the resume or I'd throw it in the garbage because, and I didn't really have the power to throw it in the garbage, but I would do it anyways because I was just kind of like, I'm weeding these fucking people out. Like, I'm not even going to allow this person to get an interview because if the boss makes a bad decision, then, I'm screwed over just as bad as the restaurant is. And my boss was pretty good at spotting talent. Like, when I interviewed with him, it was like a 5-minute interview. He didn't even look at my resume. He just talked to me for 5 minutes and was like, "You're hired." And I ended up asking him about it at one point, and he was like, "I could just tell." He was like, "I never read your resume. I didn't need to. I could just tell. Like I could tell you were a hard worker. You had a firm handshake. Like you had background. Like just looking at the bars that you worked at, you told me the bars you worked at, and like you can do this." And I kind of just knew that you were capable of doing it. And like I remember one of the first, like right away, I started covering as many shifts as I could because I'd just been broke for so long and, just a piece of shit for so long that I was like, I gotta fucking get into gear. So I was like covering people's shifts and probably doing it a bit quicker than I should have. And so like one weekend, like I covered a shift. It was a morning shift in the front bar on a Saturday, which was a legit shift, And apparently the guy that like did the switch with me didn't clear it with our bar manager. So like the bar manager came in for the night shift, and they didn't schedule a midday bartender because he was planning on the guy working, in the morning was a strong bartender. So he would be able to handle that shift no problem on his own. They didn't need a mid, so he could come in at night. And he came in and the bar was just fucking destroyed. Like just absolutely destroyed. And he was pissed that I was there. Just fucking pissed. Like I could tell by his body language. He was cleaning up and like he was just, the guy was an asshole. The guy was a total fucking asshole. I never liked him. And I like after my shift was over, like he was short with me and just being a dick, And I go in and I'm like turning my drawer into my boss and I'm like, "Hey Steve, like what's up with this guy? Like why is he so pissed off at me?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let's go fucking find out." Because Steve was straight up like that. And he kind of goes out and he's like, "What's up?" The guy's name is Robert. He's like, "What's up, Robert? Like, what's the problem here?" And he's like, "Well, he didn't clear doing this shift with me, and he wasn't supposed to be here. And look at the bar's destroyed, and he doesn't have the experience to do this and that, and blah blah blah." And Steve was just like, "Hey man, we're in a lull right now. We were fucking packed this morning. Any bartender we had would have made a mess and been running around like crazy. Like he did as good as anybody would have done on this shift. So you need to change your fucking attitude." And I was just ooh, I like this guy. I fucking like this guy. And me and Steve were tight, man. I used to open that bar up every Saturday morning and we'd bullshit all morning until the fucking football crowd came in, and it was great. I loved working there.
Nice. Yeah, man, like the hiring within, like you're saying, that's obviously depending on the job and the
that's what happened with you.
that you're talking
you
about.
were hired as a mechanic, and then they trained you to be a master mechanic, and now you're shop foreman.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like depending on the industry, whatever. That's how a good way to weed out the pieces of shit. You, like you said, you move a hostess to a waitress, you move a waitress to a bartender, and then you fucking hire a new hostess. And if they're
Dime a
shit,
dozen.
like you could probably hire. Yeah, exactly. So you that's where you're supposed to bring people in. There's exceptions, whatever, but that I think is the way most companies probably should operate. That's exactly what I tried to do. It sucks because we're so seasonal and we have just kind of, the long, slower winter, and then we're just slammed for
Yeah.
3 months. But then we need like 2 extra decent technicians that we can't keep employed all year. So it's a little bit of a shitty deal, but that's how I would like to do it. You hire in somebody that is passionate and motivated to get in the industry. You hire them on as like a lot tech.
Yep.
See what they can do. See what their work ethic is, and see if they're worth investing in and moving up. But
That's
it's
exactly
just
what I was
frustrating.
thinking. I was going to ask you, like, so I know with bartenders, like bartenders develop a lot of bad habits. And a lot of times, like you'll spend more time trying to break bad habits than it would take to just train somebody to do it the right way. And so, like, if you guys need a service tech to do, tires, brakes, oil changes, like very, easy stuff, like you might prefer training a lot tech, that some guy who's just washing bikes, rather than bringing in some fucking guy who, has been working in the industry and has bad habits and is looking for a better paying position, a permanently paying position that is going to, leave for the first fucking open position that they can find. And you'll be dealing with their bad habits all day instead of being like, hey, look, if you've got a question, if you don't know how to do something, come to me. I'll show you how to do it the right way.
Yep.
And like within a couple years, I'm not going to have to tell you anything. Like you'll have this job down, and it'll be somebody that's passionate about the job, passionate about, the company, about the brand. And you're not dealing with some guy who's just floated around from shop to shop for the last 10 years.
Yeah. That's like you said, bad habits, man. I believe I've seen and heard, like, I don't know, stupid little commercials or whatever but are there are like bartending schools, right? Have you ever dealt with somebody that was just kind of like green but supposedly went to a bartending school?
Yeah, like I've trained bartenders that were waiters and waitresses before that knew the system. Like a lot of the problem that you run into is learning the computer system and learning where everything is. Where do you store this? Where do you store that? How do I ring this up on the computer? And that's most of it when you're dealing with a new bartender, is the computer, because everyone has a different system. There's different buttons for every little thing. And how do you modify?
Yeah.
How do I put no ketchup on this burger type of thing? Like, how do I add, an extra shot of this to this drink? Most
But I'm talking like,
bartenders-
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was I was getting more towards like you said, with bad habits and stuff. Because I deal with, and I've dealt with it with a few employees that I've worked with over the years that have gone to MMI.
Mm.
And
you teach bad habits there.
And the bad habits.
Yeah. One of the things that killed me about bartending was, like, you have your well, all your liquors are set up. There's a right and a wrong way to set up the well. You don't just set it up how you feel like it. You set it up the way that it's supposed to be, because you're using certain things at a certain, consistency. We use this the most. This, you set it up the right way. And when you're in a bar, like a lot of times we had 2 bars and you had multiple bartenders working. So if I'm coming in as a mid, or if I'm jumping in to help you in the back bar, I don't want to have to learn your fucking well. If you're not good enough to keep up on your own and I'm coming in to help you, set me up to help you. Like, set me up for success. So that was like one of the things that drove me nuts, was like, we need to all be running the same fucking well. And I'm setting it up right because I've done this for a long time and I know what type of drinks we make the most of. So you set it up this way. You know what I mean? And like, it just drove me nuts when I would go back to a fucking well. And the first thing I would have to do is put it together the way I wanted it. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
just drove me fucking nuts. You know, there was other things that drove me nuts too. You know, like one of the bartenders that we had at one point was just lazy. Most of like, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of women bartenders are fucking lazy. They don't want to clean.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, dude.
Imagine that, right? Women not wanting to clean. Oh, boy. And like this fucking chick was using plastic cups every fucking day. Like I swear to God, I would take all the plastic cups out of the bar and put them back in the locked room to where you couldn't find them and be like, you're not using plastic cups. Like plastic cups are for the Super Bowl. They're for Fleet Week. Like they are for when we have so much fucking business that we do not have enough time to wash glasses. The only reason you're using plastic cups right now is because you're fucking lazy. So like, stop it, you know? And I swear to God, I go back there and she's using fucking plastic cups again. And I'm like, where the fuck are you even finding these goddamn things? I'm hiding them and you're not allowed into the room where they're hidden. So like, how the fuck are you getting these goddamn things? It drove me nuts. We had another guy that like, he was a good bartender, but like just too by the book, you know, like he refused to touch fruit with his fingers. Like it was a toothpick for every piece of fruit. And you'd have to get it onto the glass. Exactly. You cut it before. And then it's like, dude, just use your fucking fingers, man. Like wash your hands. If you're worried about it, like get over it. People don't care. They're not worried about you touching the rind of a fucking lemon that you're putting on, you know, the rim of a drink. Like,
yeah,
just,
and if
and
you wash your hands,
300 pounds, so he was slow. He sweat like fucking crazy. He had to keep a rag over his shoulder because he's wiping his sweat all the time.
Yep.
And it was just like, dude, get in gear, move. Like lose some fucking weight, go for a walk on your day off. Like this is crazy. You know,
eat a salad.
The fruit thing would just drive me nuts. And it's like, yeah, it's by the book and it's the way you're supposed to do it. But we work in a high volume bar. You can't fucking do that every day. Or I'm going to be back helping you all the goddamn time, which I was. And like, to be fair, like he was a better bartender than me. He knew more about the business. He was a bit older than me. He'd been doing it for longer. He knew more about, you know, he had a bigger drink vocabulary than I did. But for the most part, you're making the same shit. You don't need to have this massive vocabulary when you're working in a sports bar. You're making very basic drinks. Like a lot of times people would come in, do you know how to make this fucking drink? And I'd be like, I don't know, man. What color is it? What does it taste like? And I just kind of figure it out because after a while you kind of, and you know, hair, was that it? No, but it was good. It's like, fine. You know, who cares then, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, shit like that drove me nuts. You know, just get to work.
And you can't fire that guy for doing things too right.
By the book.
Like,
exactly.
The motherfucker won't touch the fruit with his fingers. You're fired.
Yeah. You know, another thing that drove me nuts too was like, I worked with a lot of different women in the bar, and most of them got it. They were there to make money. They weren't there for their ego. You know, it was about making money. And I was faster than every bartender we had by like a large margin. It wasn't even close. Like I was bigger. I had longer arms. I was good at it. Like I could just make drinks faster than everybody there, and it wasn't even fucking close. And, you know, a couple of the chicks with I worked with really got it. It's like, okay, I'm going to work the well, which means that like I make drinks for the waitresses. They take them out to the tables, essentially. I had a couple of seats on the bar that I would handle, but for the most part, like I make the drinks for the rest of the restaurant, and you make sure the bar top is taken care of. You do the food, you do all the orders, you talk to the people because they don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to you. They want to talk to the good looking girl. You know, you're going to get more money out of them than I am. And especially like if I'm doing cool things, if I'm doing tricks and stuff like that, they want to watch me do my thing and they want to talk to you. And this one bartender that I work with, man, every fucking week it was a battle. Oh, you worked the well last weekend. Why can't I work the well? And it's like, just suck it up and
because
do
money,
job.
bitch.
Do your fucking job. Like, be a good looking girl. Talk to the fucking men who are watching football and make us some fucking money. Like,
Yeah, lean on the
up.
bar.
It has
Pump your
nothing.
tits up.
Exactly. Like a couple of the girls that I worked with really got it. One of them was really good. I'd throw something on the ground and she'd go pick it up. Hey, I dropped this type of thing. And, she understood it. And hey, woman,
Yeah.
I need more ice. Go get me some ice. And she'd be off grabbing ice, but she got it. Like, it's not real. It's a performance. You're there to make money. And it's literally a performance, which is why I'm good at this, because it's not much different than what I used to do behind the bar. You kind of turn your personality up to 11 and go a little bit further than you would normally go in real life. And like, it works out for the best, and I could complain about a bar all fucking night. I really could. There's so much wrong with bars. It's crazy.
Yeah, like that's like I mean, I can it cracks me up because I never try to make things like a competition in the shop. Like, oh, who can change a tire the fastest and stuff. I just do it. And then people start like noticing, and then all of a sudden some other coworker, he's like, oh man, and then he'd like try to do something and then come over and tell me like, oh man, I did that tire in 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, good job, good for you.
Yeah,
like, I did it in 15.
That was the cool thing about line work, was like everything was about speed. Even at the school that I went to, like, you had to do the job within a certain amount of minutes. Like, there was a time limit that you had to beat in order to pass like the test, essentially. And even like when I got hurt, the last thing I remember is looking over at my buddy to see how far along he was on his pole, make sure I was going faster than him. Well, on a different note, I got my truck engine finally.
Oh man, I freaking saw those pictures. That thing looks amazing.
Looks fucking sweet, huh?
Yeah. So is it still just? Did you get it in the truck yet?
Yeah, it's sitting on an engine stand right now. My mom's husband's gonna do the like my old truck. The engine's out of it. My old engine's gone already, so that's done and done. And this thing's ready to turn over as soon as it's dropped in. So now it's just a time thing, like when he has the time to do it, essentially. And I ordered a new grill for it. It's sitting right there off camera. I got like a black, horizontal bar grill for it. I just ordered some paint for my headers, so I'm gonna, kind of rough up the headers and paint them fresh coat of black. So that looks good. I think I'm gonna order some new radiator hoses. I can't decide if I'm gonna go orange or black on the hoses.
Yeah.
I think orange would look cool, but I'm not sure if it's gonna match the block or not. But I don't know. It should be cool. There's a couple other things I want to do to it. Like, I want to do a new seat. I can't decide if I'm gonna, like, I found a really cool leather seat that is like $2,000 though, and I don't know that I want to pop that much money on it. But it's nice. It's leather. It's got like the diamond stitching in it. It's got cup holders in the middle seat, but you can still like sit over the top of the cup holders if you're in it. And I want to get seat belts. The fucking thing doesn't have any seat belts in it, and probably gonna do like all the I know. But probably going to do all the like window seals and door trim and all that shit too.
Right on. Yeah, man, that thing. That thing's gonna be sick. I got my whole bottom end for my road glide back from Dark Horse, which is Harley like engine performance company. Yeah, it's everybody says you get your engine work from them, and it's bulletproof after that.
One of the brands does a Dark Horse edition, right? Is that Harley?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe it's like Triumph maybe it's Indian that does it. I don't know. I thought I'd seen like a Dark Horse edition bike before. Maybe it's just some like build that I've seen on the internet that I'm conflating.
That might be a build, or if it's like a production model, it might just be, like a paint job, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's the dark horse model.
All
They
the
do that.
dirt bike brands are doing like a special racer edition or like a factory edition that they call them now, and basically they just come with pipes and engine covers and a couple, doodads on them that are,
Yeah.
they all come with like nice bars and shit like that. Like back when I was buying bikes, man, they would come with steel bars that you had to replace immediately. It was like such a chintzy thing. And for the most part, they're coming with better components now. Like a lot of them have got better brakes, and most of the brands, I think actually all of the brands now do a hydraulic clutch stock, which I've never even had a hydraulic clutch before, so I don't know how I would like that. Yamaha, they were doing a cable clutch stock, and they offered like a Brembo or something like that you could get with the stock bike if you wanted to pay extra or something like that. And they were doing that because I think that there's rules in Supercross that you have to run like the stock style. I don't remember exactly what it is. I think like you have to run the stock cases, so you can't like modify the case to run a different style of clutch. So if you want,
Yeah.
if your rider wants to run a cable clutch, you have to run it stock, or you have to modify it to run a cable clutch without modifying the cases. So like Yamaha had a couple guys that still wanted to run the cable clutch, so they offered it stock and then like had the aftermarket upgrade on it, which is going away this year because their main guy that wanted the cable clutch is going to KTM. So no more
Well,
cable
there you go.
Clutches. Actually,
See,
I would
you've
imagine
never-
that Suzuki probably still has a cable clutch. That bike's a 2012 still. They haven't changed the fucking thing in 12 years. But
Well,
guy,
if it ain't
you know,
broke.
Yep, Ken Roxon's still winning races on it. He's winning a couple races a year. And like the thing that I like to point out is like change isn't always a good thing. These guys are always changing their fucking
Yeah.
bikes every year. And like sometimes the change is for the better, sometimes it's not. And like Jeremy McGrath ran a 91 frame on his Honda until 98 when they switched to aluminum frame, and he rode that bike one time. It put him on his head and he was like, nope, going to Suzuki. And he left, you know? So who knows?
Yeah,
Change is
that-
isn't always a good thing. You can figure out the bike. You can make it run well. Keep it how it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the case of my relationships, I'd say change is a good thing. Because it's broke. But
Yeah.
have you ever ridden any motorcycle with a hydraulic clutch, or are we just talking?
No, I haven't. I was just looking at my Buell.
Yeah.
My Buell's got a cable clutch. I don't think I've ever ridden a bike with a hydraulic clutch before. I think they were I think KTM did them when I was racing, but I never rode one, so I never got to try it. If it did,
See, I don't think you would like it. I
don't think so either.
I don't prefer it. It you can't feel that engagement point, and you
Yep. It's
you
on
can't
off.
really adjust it, honestly. So I really don't particularly like it. My my Road Glide currently has a hydraulic clutch. For a few years, Harley put hydraulic clutches on their touring bikes, but it's just, I don't know. We have a lot of people every summer that usually end up, they either get towed to our dealership or they call us on the Beartooth Pass, which is one of the like top motorcycle rides to do in the country.
Yeah.
But it's high altitude, and so they get up to the top of it. All of a sudden, they lose their clutch, and
It gets
they
hot
call
and it
us.
just fries the plates.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily the plates. They definitely probably take some damage, but it's the fluid, man. Because nobody
It's hot.
ever maintains their bikes the way they should. So they got old fluid, and then they gain all that altitude, and then the air
air bubbles
expands
and
if
shit.
they're and then they lose their clutch, and they call us. They're like, "Yeah, I'm on the top of Beartooth Pass. I don't have a clutch," and we're always like, hydraulic? They're like, yeah. They're like, well, try to limp it down the pass if you can, if you feel safe, and you will probably get your clutch back. And then we still
that thing
advise
down
you to
the
come
hill and
straight to
fucking
us.
dry shift it.
Yeah, and then come right to us. And every time, man, it's just the because it's .4. It's the same fluid in the brakes, and I open that reservoir cover. It's either not there or it's just black and nasty and full of water.
Yeah.
And it just, dude, it don't even get me started on freaking
I think the deal with
motorcycle.
like, moto right now is that, you know, like when I was a kid, all the bikes came with cable clutches. Like all the mini bikes came with cable clutches. Every bike had a cable clutch except for KTM, and KTM wasn't really big when I was a young kid. Like they were starting to get big in mini bikes, but still very few people had them. Like people had KX60s and KX65s essentially. But now, like all the Japanese brands aren't making mini bikes anymore. Like Kawasaki still makes a 65 and an 80, but they haven't upgraded it in fucking years, so nobody rides them anymore. I think Yamaha still makes an 80 and a 65, but nobody really rides them. Everybody rides the KTMs and shit like that, and they all come with hydros. So all these kids are brought up on a hydro from day one, so they're just used to them.
Yeah, the one benefit with a hydraulic clutch is it insanely reduces all that friction from the cable. And Harley Davidson clutch cable routing is horrendous. But not only that, but then you can run performance clutches with way higher springs in them.
Yeah.
Without increasing that that clutch pull tension as much as you would with a cable. So that's the only real benefit. But unless you're going that route, man, I'm cable all the way. I intend to convert mine back to a cable.
And that's probably a good thing for a lot of these moto guys because they're running one-use clutches for Supercross anyways with gnarly springs and, they're running gnarly clutches in these things. So they can probably run a really gnarly clutch in it without, affecting the pull, and you can still use one finger or something like that. I'd imagine that's probably, one aspect of it.
Yeah. But like for you, probably, I with pretty high confidence can say you would not enjoy a hydraulic clutch. It's weird.
I'm not using a fucking clutch if I ever ride again anyways. This fucking bike, I've got a Recluse auto clutch for it. I bought a quick shifter. I'm not using a clutch. I know how to ride. Like I can shift these fucking things the right way. If I get a dirt bike, like I'm going to get something that I can ride in third gear for the most part. Like I'm not fucking around with a clutch at this point. Like if I have a dirt bike, I'll try and mount one on the right side if I can. But like this thing, unless I change the handlebars on it, I'm not getting a clutch onto the right side. There's just no fucking room. And I might change the handlebars. Like this thing would look kind of cool with a set of pro tapers, on it or something like that.
Hell yeah, dude, that would be badass. And then I remember we were talking about that one time, but you have like a big blocky old front brake reservoir, right? Mm-hmm. That just kind of like takes up all the real estate.
Yeah, massive, we could. This thing's got that big fucking rotor on it and the massive brake.
Just the single rotor, right, on the front.
Yep.
Yeah. That mounts on the outside of the rim, right? Dude, that is a wild design. Yeah,
it is. It's fucking cool looking. I'm not sure that it works any better than a floating rotor on the hub, but it sure looks fucking cool, right?
Yeah. Speaking of which, man, that's I do really want to get out there, and I think we should get your quick shifter on there and get that thing fired up, take her around the block.
It says that it's an easy install. Like I wouldn't even know where to look on it, but apparently it's built for this. It'll work. I talked to the guys that make it. It's called Health Tech. I don't know if you've ever heard of the company before. They're a European company, so I got it from Europe.
How do you
crazy thing?
How do you spell that?
So Health Tech, HEALTHTECH.
Okay, yeah, I think I've heard of them.
Anyways, I ordered this fucking quick shifter. It was like $150, which is not. No, it was more like $300, I think. And
Yeah, I was gonna say,
got-
man, $150.
yeah, I
quick
think it was
shift.
more like
What'd you get that on
$350.
Amazon, Temu?
Yeah, no, I think it was more like $350. Maybe it's $329. It doesn't matter for the point of the story. I order it. It comes in the mail. I get it, and then like a week later, I get a bill from FedEx for $50. Like, what the fuck? I didn't agree to that. I thought shipping was already included with it. You can't just bill me after I get it and say, "Oh, sorry, you owe us another $50."
Oh, by
so
the
I
way,
need to call them and fucking complain because that's fucking bullshit. I'm not paying that. I'm sure they're not gonna waive it, but I'm not paying the whole $50. I'm gonna get it down to at least $25.
yeah, get fucked. You don't get to bill me for shipping after it's been shipped.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of bullshit, I'm putting a tough shed in my backyard right in the next couple weeks. I'm gonna order it.
Oh, is it?
And
This
dude,
is a
my
HOA story.
Oh, fucking HOA, man. So like, I got the
I love
got
your
the
HOA
CCNRs.
stories.
Yeah, they're great. I got the CCNRs, and so let's backtrack. So this is like a year ago. I'm talking to my dickhead neighbor that I can't fucking stand, and I was telling
You're gonna
him
have
that
to
I
be
was gonna
more
put-
specific, because don't you hate all of them?
Yeah, but this guy lives right next door to me. He's the one that like, dude, this guy, he's such a douchebag. Like, he walks around with no shirt on, and he's like this ugly, super white fucking dude. He's got this nasty beer gut on him, and like, he's loud and obnoxious, and I just can't stand him. And
Roy's your neighbor? Sorry, Roy.
Well,
Cheap shot. Had to take it.
Yeah, sorry, Roy. So one of my tenants was like, "Hey, man, I heard from a buddy that went to a barbecue in the neighborhood that this guy showed up and just got fucking hammered and was staring at some dude's wife's tits all night." I'm like, "Yep, that checks out. That absolutely checks out." So I'm talking to this guy about my shed. This was like 2 years ago, maybe, before I kind of started disliking him. And I told him where I was going to put it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay with that." And I'm like, "Wasn't asking. Like, I was telling you, I wasn't asking you if it was okay with you that I put it." So anyways, at the time, like, it was going to face towards the road. It wasn't going to be like backed up to his property. Now it's going to be backed up to his property, and he is not going to be happy because I didn't ask him about it. And I had a chance to ask him about it today because so I was getting all right. So back to the CCNRs. I go through it, and dude, they're just so nebulous. Like, they say that like if you're doing improvements to your property, you have to run it through the architectural committee. And the architectural committee is made up of one fucking guy. How can you have a one-person committee? Like, that makes no fucking sense. A committee is multiple people, not one fucking guy.
Yeah.
And so anyways, like, I got and I shouldn't even got the CCNRs. I just should have put it up and dealt with them afterwards because fuck them, right? So I read these things and I'm like, fuck. These people are worthless pieces of shit. And if I don't check with them, they're going to lose their fucking minds. And I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to turn it in. And so like, I go through the neighborhood and there's 40 of these fucking things in my neighborhood, including one at my neighbor's house. So why the fuck do I have to ask permission for something that 40 of my neighbors already have? It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And so like in these CCNRs, the architectural committee wants to come on my property and look in the inside of my shed. And I'm going to put that thing up and tell him to go fuck himself. If he wants to look at the inside of a tough shed, he can go to Home Depot.
Why the fuck do they want to look inside it? What does that have to do with anything?
Because, dude, there was this woman built a barn on her property a couple years ago, and her contractor didn't go through the proper channels with the HOA, and they just lost their fucking minds, which is why they created the architectural committee so it can't happen again. And, dude, like, we're there. This is the last HOA meeting I've went to. I haven't been back since because I was like, these people are just fucking nuts. Nothing I say matters anyways, and all I'm doing is just getting in arguments with my neighbors, essentially. So, like, dude.
So a typical day of entertainment.
2 hours, dude, and they're debating the difference between a barn and a pole barn. And then at like one point I was like, good, it's finally over. And then this guy raises his hand. He's like some old contractor, and he goes through, I was a contractor for this, and I've worked in this many states, and I used to do this and that. And let me tell you the difference between a barn and a pole barn. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. One of them's made out of poles. And like 20 minutes later, like that was the end of it. Like one of them's made out of poles, you know? And so they decided, we can't have pole barns in our neighborhood. It's just not going to work, you know? And I'm like, my neighbor who's not in our HOA has a pole barn on his property. Well, he's not in the HOA. And it's like, do you think that's going to make a difference? He's next door to my house. It's there. Makes no difference whatsoever if it's within the HOA. Like, what's built in your HOA and what's not built in your HOA has zero effect on your property values. And all these people really want is their property values to go up. But no matter what they do in these stupid, ridiculous meetings, it's never going to do for anything for their property values compared to what inflation has already done. Like, my house is worth 40% more than when I moved into it. The house is falling apart. You know, houses should be like used cars. They should go down in price, not up. You know, sure, the property's worth something, but the property taxes go up every fucking year, you know?
Yeah.
I heard that Ron DeSantis is trying to get rid of property taxes in Florida, which would be excellent. Let's do that everywhere, please, you know? But anyways, my neighbor so this is when he really pissed me off. I was cleaning out a bedroom that this guy moved out of. And when my grandmother died, she had an extra bed in her house. So I was like, oh, I'm going to swap out this bed with the one that I have in my room because it's old and it's nasty and let's just get rid of it. So I put it out in the driveway and was waiting for my mom's husband to go to the dump for the next time. It'd been out there like 2 weeks. And I'm out doing yard work one day and here comes my fucking neighbor. Hey, what's going on with that mattress? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just fucking waiting for somebody to go to the dump. You know, it's only been 2 weeks. It's not the end of the world. Well, the HOA's starting to complain. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. And I just go to him, I don't give a fuck about the HOA. He's like, well, you know, the HOA. So, and I'm
You
like,
should have
so
been like,
basically,
you want to give me a hand? You
well,
want
get
to
this.
take it to the dump for me?
He does. He did. And I didn't
Nice.
help him. I didn't even
Hell
help
yeah.
him load it up. Fuck you. You want to do it? So this, just to prove how much of a douchebag this guy is, one day I was out talking to him and God, he's just drunk all the time, which just annoys me because, you know, bars. And he's telling me what he's got his and dude, before we get to this story, the next fucking day after he takes the mattress, I go out and he's got a broken down car with a tarp on it parked in his fucking lawn. So I can't have a mattress on the side of my house for 2 weeks, but you're allowed to park your beat to shit car on your fucking lawn with a tarp on it? Go to hell, you piece of shit. So anyways, before this all happened, he's got his motorhome out and he's like getting ready to go somewhere. I'm like, oh, where are you going? You know? He's like, oh, I'm going here and there and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I was like, how long are you going to be gone for? And he's like, oh, I don't know yet. And I was like, well, that's cool. You know, that's one of the good things about being retired. You can kind of do what you want when you want. And he's like, yeah, and having money. He says it loud like that. I'm like, oh,
Christ.
Congratulations. You've got money. Fucking piece of shit.
See,
Ugh,
dude, I
can't
think
stand that guy.
I think you're letting this whole HOA thing get under your skin a little too much, and you got to learn how to use the HOA to your benefit, like you know, like the mattress situation, and be like, look, guys, you know, I don't want you to like, you know, I don't want to decrease property value, you know, I mean, so anybody want to volunteer to take my mattress to the dump for me?
I think what I'm going to do is just wait for these fucking boomers to die out, take over the HOA, and roll back all the rules and regulations and just kind of
There you
fucking
go.
get rid of it.
There you go. Nick, the Idaho HOA slumlord.
Yeah, I'm playing the long game. You know, 10 years from now when these fucking people
Yeah.
all die,
Yeah.
I'll just go around the neighborhood and be like, are you as sick of these people as I am? Great. Vote for me and I'm going to get rid of the fucking thing. So anyways,
Nice.
my stupid fucking neighbor who's positioning himself to take over the HOA came around with the HOA, head of the HOA today, and he's knocking on my door. Hey, how you doing? He's loud and obnoxious. We've got your dues for you. We're just handing them out in person. And I could have talked to them about I already went to the guy's house to hand in the plans for the shed, and he wasn't home. And I could have handed them to him in person today, but I don't want my neighbor to know about it. Fuck him. He doesn't get to know. He can deal with it when it's backed up to his fucking property. Douchebag.
There you go. Nice.
Where are we at? 50 minutes. All right. So I saw something interesting when I was in the hot tub the other night. It was, like it wasn't a UFO or anything like that. But
was it in the water or in the sky?
Well, there's a couple interesting things in the water, but no. So it was in the sky. It was I think it was an airplane. But dude, this fucking thing was up high, like satellite level high. And it had like red blinking lights on it. So I'm not thinking it was like a UFO or anything like that. But dude, crossed the sky in like 5 seconds. Moving. Thing was fucking moving.
That's crazy, man. I love seeing shit like that. I've told the story of I saw a Tic Tac. What are they what are they calling them these days? UAPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I've told the story of that, I believe, on the podcast, but my mom told me she saw one recently also. And I've been seeing videos of somebody, it was somewhere in Montana too. I saw a video online. Some couple saw another Tic Tac, but and if it had red blinking lights like that, that could have been like a high altitude supersonic or something.
Dude,
like
no sound at all. It was up so high you couldn't hear a fucking thing. And I mean, this is like 2:00 in the morning. It's dead quiet out, at 2:00 in the morning around here. I couldn't hear. There was no cars or anything like that. This thing didn't make a fucking noise. So who knows what it was? Could have been a high altitude drone. Could have been a plane. I don't know. Like it looked like it was triangle, but dude, it was up so high. It was hard to tell if it was one blinking light or two, one on either wing, but it looked like it had a triangle type shape to it. And I don't know, man. It was interesting. One of the more interesting things I've seen out there.
right on.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the videos on Twitter of black people freaking out they're not getting EBT next month?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Why should I have to work? The government works for me. I'm going to go steal food if I don't get my EBT. Dude, I saw there was a great video today that it was like black people in Walmart next month after no EBT, and it was just a bunch of gorillas destroying everything and stealing TVs.
Man, and you know what? You want to complain about that? I just talked to Heather, my sister, and she's been furloughed? She's been furloughed for I think she said 28 days or something like that, and she just got recalled, and so she is like contractually obligated to return to work, but continued without pay.
That's what you get when you work for the government.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, God bless America, land of the free.
Yeah. Dude, how many people would you guess are on food stamps in this country? Just take a guess.
1.3 million.
40 million.
Holy shit.
40 million people are on fucking food stamps in this country. That's crazy. That's more than 10% of the country aren't working. And dude, like there was a really funny video that I saw earlier today where the Democrats brought some woman to complain about food stamps and she weighed like 400 pounds. She's like, I can't eat without my food stamps. And it's like, bitch, you don't need to eat. You need a fucking diet.
You need to burn off those reserves. Let somebody else eat.
I mean, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And like, I don't know about this whole like AI scare that Elon was talking the other day. He was like, goods and services are going to be so cheap that you won't need to work. And it's like, yeah, I don't see that happening. Even if corporations are
Yeah.
able to like build things for next to nothing, it doesn't mean they're not going to charge, upcharge shit on them. Like, I just,
Yeah.
and
I
inflation's
had
so out of,
I had a conversation recently with one of the parts guys at my work, because there was a lot of talk about layoffs and stuff, and I was like, look, man, I wouldn't freak out too quick about it. This is textbook corporate scare tactics.
yeah.
A to make you too afraid to ask for a raise, and B to make you not ask for a raise but work harder. So that being said, I would still do good work and just let that speak for itself. But then he said something about AI, and I was like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, man. Your job is squarely in the crosshairs of AI, because like a lot of people, a big problem, especially in the dealership industry. They'll just go online anyway.
Yeah.
Now there's pros and cons to doing that, but a lot of people go that route, or they come in and we'll sit there and talk to a parts guy, or a lot of them end up in service too, and sit there and talk for a long time, and then be like, all right, well, how much is that? And they're like, oh, I can get it cheaper online, and turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, have fun
like
with
my
that.
buddy, when my buddy bought bikes, like I was, sending him, you should buy this, you should buy that. And I sent him like a link to a chest protector. And I was like, I think this is the way to go. Like all the chest protectors now are all like under the jersey, and they don't have shoulder pads anymore. Like some, like Alpine Star still makes like a big hefty thing, but it goes under your jersey, which like, fuck that. Like, talk about uncomfortable, wearing
Yeah.
this fucking, you got to wear an undershirt, or you got to tape your nipples and shit. Like, fuck that. Like, get an over the jersey chest protector with some fucking shoulder pads on it, Travis Pastrana, No Fear style, right? Remember those old
Right?
badass
Yeah.
fucking chest pros? Like,
Yeah.
the red and the yellow.
But
Like,
that-
those things were sick. Get something like that. So I sent him one, and he was like, I'm going to go into this bike shop and see if they have one so I can try it on. And I was like, dude, they're not going to have one. And even if they do have one, it's going to be more expensive. And he goes in there and he's like, fuck, dude, they got it and it's cheaper than online. I was like, wow, good for
What the
them.
fuck?
Like, they're actually
Yeah.
trying to get some people to like do business inside of the shop. I was surprised.
Dude, that's a big issue. And that the point you made about an article you read about the Harley Davidson's just bike pricing and pricing new riders out, that was one of the points of that little like commercial that I did see.
Good.
And,
I hope they start
and that's-
making better
that's a big thing.
entry-level bikes again,
They're supposed to. I believe it's called the Sprint. It's supposed to be an entry level, low CC, affordable entry level Harley Davidson, and that's definitely like that. That's what that whole thing was the key issues that they're gonna try to redirect the company in for an actual successful future.
You can't expect people to pay $40,000 for a motorcycle. Not when they're paying $100,000 for a pickup. You know what I mean? Like, you still need a pickup. A lot of people in this country need a truck. They need a car. And like, people are out of control with buying vehicles. Somebody in my family just bought a $60,000 4Runner when her husband has spent the last fucking 6 months in Maui, and he has a brand new Tacoma that she's been driving. So she bought a new vehicle while he was out of state, and she'd been driving his vehicle. Like, why do you need two of the same vehicle? It's the same fucking vehicle. One of them's just enclosed. They don't have any kids that live with them. Like, there's no point to it. Like, you just spent over $100,000 on vehicles in the past 2 fucking years. So like, that's bullshit. But like, as a motorcycle, especially a Harley, is not an essential vehicle. You don't need a Harley. A Harley is purely a play vehicle. You buy that for fun, and you can't just expect that people are going to pay $40,000 for a fucking bike. Like, you have to give them some options. And
Not
I
if you
think,
live and breathe Harley Davidson, brother.
Yeah, well,
Take
all
my
those
whole
guys are
paycheck.
dying. They're all dying
Yeah.
of lung cancer
Yeah.
because they've been smoking fucking 3 packs a day for the past 40 fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah.
not going to, some millennial who can't afford to buy their own vehicle or buy a house is not going to go and buy a $20,000, $30,000 entry level motorcycle. Like, you need to offer them something for 10 grand or less even,
Yeah.
you know, get an
Well,
$8,000 bike out.
Especially because pretty much any current production Harley Davidson is not an entry level motorcycle.
No,
Like
it's not.
the
It's a luxury
Sportsters,
bike.
they're not only luxury, but they're either just way too heavy,
Yeah.
or honestly way too high powered to be an entry level bike. You know
Fuck,
what I
man,
mean?
They
Like,
require their own bay in a garage.
yeah, yeah. Like
You know, they
yeah,
take
a
up
full
as
size
much room
fucking
as
bagger.
they take up as much room as a compact car, damn near. Like, how
Yeah.
are you expecting some young kid in a city to store that goddamn thing? And like, you know, I wasn't about to park that thing on the road all night. Like, no way.
Oh,
when
fuck
I lived
no.
in San
Yeah.
Francisco, like I had a garage that I was parking it in. I wouldn't, if I didn't have a garage, like I had to have a garage because there's just no way. Like, I parked it on the street when I went to work, but it was in a high traffic area where people weren't stealing shit, you know, like
Yeah.
where I lived was not a nice area. It was, you know, near the
You
Cow
park-
Palace and near fucking Candlestick Park with a certain demographic that likes to steal shit. And also
I don't
is
know
not
what
going
you're.
to be
I
getting their
have no
EBT
idea what you're
this month.
talking about.
They're not going to be getting their EBT this month either. Dude, I totally forgot that we were going to talk investment strategies.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. We'll talk investment
that next
strategies
time.
and yeah. Well, this was just this was just getting the
Back in the
the
saddle.
gears lubricated and stuff.
Yeah, getting back in the saddle again. That's a decent show title, Back in the Saddle Again.
Hell yeah.
I was supposed to interview a guy today that was about ghosts and fucking paranormal shit, and I didn't even think about, like, when I scheduled it, that it was a couple days before Halloween, and I was like, earlier today, I was like, oh, dude, what a perfect time for like,
Perfect.
a Halloween show. And then the guy fucking no-showed me like a dickhead, so now I don't have a Halloween special.
Well, we can do a Halloween special, and I'll tell you the long, tragic, horrific story of my last relationship.
All right, and on that, we're gonna get out of here. It's been a pleasure. Back in the saddle. He's back. No beard.
No beard.